Hello, hello. I've just read this book here, My Friend Dahmer, written and drawn by Beckdorf and published by Abrams Comic Arts. Imagine yourself going to a school. This is Beckdorf, and one of your friends, this guy, Dahmer, turns out, many years later on, to be a serial killer, to become a serial killer. And this is sadly not about imagination, because Jeffrey Dahmer existed. He was killed later on in prison. Here we have a picture of him as a student. He isn't epileptic, he just fakes it, and that stunt of his made him sort of mascot or class clown or so. And that was the way he related to his classmates. He was sort of an icon that stand for the school years of Beckdorf, but they weren't never really close. What nobody knew was that Jeffrey Dahmer was haunted by horrible fantasies of having sex with corpses, and he can't deal with his homosexuality and the divorce of his parents and so on. In a way, the downward spiral of one guy becoming a serial killer gets a little understandable, not really understandable, of course. But if you see things like this, Beckdorf tells the story of when they go fishing and Dahmer kills a fish. So that's nothing really remains of this fish. But I tell you, this looks gruesome, but I'm a teacher of biology, and sometimes I bring fish into my biology class, and we dissect the fish to see where the organs are and how the fish is built inwards on the inside. That's what his interests are too, in a very insane way, obviously. But my pupils, nice, decent boys and girls, they sometimes, there is one or two in a group of four that can't stop dissecting the fish in a mad way. They want to look after each organ until there's nothing but a mess inside their plates where they have put the fish. And I really hope that none of them, I know that none of them will be a serial killer afterwards, but that's one of the themes in this book. How do you know that a child isn't just peculiar, but really dangerous or endangered, because none of the adults in the story, the teachers also, not in the story, but in real life, really got the situation he was in.
Do you think of your childhood as having been profoundly unhappy?
No, not profoundly. My childhood wasn't filled with any great tragedies or anything. There were good times and there were bad times. I think it was fairly normal.
Jeff, do you remember your earliest experience and earliest interest, fascination with the inside of animals? Where that came from?
In ninth grade, in biology class, we had the usual dissection of fetal pigs. I took the remains of that home and kept the skeleton.
Bechdorf tells his story in very clear, minimalistic, sometimes, pictures. When it comes to drawings of nature and so, the drawings have some beauty. This is somehow an important panel, because it shows the young Dahmer at a crossroads. You can go this way or this way, maybe both ways lead into the dark, but somehow a decision has to be made. Don't get me wrong, and don't get Bechdorf wrong, he makes this very, very clear. After Dahmer started his killing, nobody can feel great sympathy with him. Although I've read some YouTube commentaries in one or two of the documentaries you can find all over about Dahmer, some silly praises of Dahmer, that he was some sort of genius or stupid stuff, or that he was a racist because most of his victims were black, and that's nonsense. Where was I? The drawing style. The drawing style of Bechdorf is minimalistic, cartoony, a little bit in the way children draw humans. The eyes too much on the forehead, or in the middle of the forehead. But this gives the different expressions enough room. It's functional in a way, and you can clearly distinct the younger characters from the older characters, and you know that this is the younger self, or you always know who is, and that is not unimportant. So the story is very readable, and though I'm a very slow reader, usually I need for a book that this that is thick as this is, more than just one sitting. I read this book in one rush, but the more important reason for this was that it really gripped me, it hooked me, and as a father of 2 sons and a teacher, you can see that there are some things that relate to my world. Okay, I think maybe I've said enough to inspire some curiosity in you if you didn't had read this book. It's a warning, it's very disturbing, although the actual killing spree of Mr. Dahmer isn't shown. That is one of the strengths I must say about this book, because it is concerned about the question, what have you done? Oh my God, Dahmer, what have you done? Or better, why have you done it? Why have you... Yeah, and this why is the motivation for this book, for a 20-year obsession, maybe not, for a 20-year-long exploration of the circumstances that led to the serial killing. Okay. It's not really a bloody book, but a very disturbing book, a shocking book, a very well written book, and yeah, a very high recommended by Earl Grey. Thank you for listening and watching. Goodbye.